Okay, so here's the thing we're not considering.
Okay.
We're always like, Selena can't be the best assassin. What if all the other assassins legitimately suck? Chapter 33. The mines in Calcula were stifling, and the slave girl could only imagine how much worse they would become when the summer sun was overhead. She had been in the mines for 6 months,
Whoa,
longer
long
than
time.
anyone else had ever survived, she'd been told. Her mother, her grandmother, and her little brother hadn't lasted a month. Her father hadn't even...
For a moment, I was like, Selena lasted longer. And then I was like, yeah, but everyone else lasts a month. So no one remembers Selena.
And this is Calcula, not Endovia.
Oh, whoops. My bad.
But yeah, no one would remember Selena except for the gods. Her father hadn't even made it to the mines before Ardalin's butchers had cut him down, along with the other known rebels in their village. Everyone else had been rounded up and sent here. You know what bugs me?
What?
They're always just like, it's just rebels.
Yeah.
I wish it was a little more specific.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, oh yeah, we have rebels in our village.
What does that mean?
Yeah.
They don't... surely you don't consider yourselves just rebels.
Yeah.
You don't... Not every single group considers themselves just rebels.
Where's the coalition?
Because... usually when you call them a rebel, I mean, I feel like often you call them a rebel if you're coming from the perspective of, we are the ones that they're fighting against. They're the rebels.
Yeah. And I feel like you could say, yeah, we're rebels against the crown.
But would you normally describe yourself like that?
I don't think that would be the only word you ever use to describe yourself.
Exactly.
Because, like, not to bring in Star Wars, but they're totally like, the Empire are like, yeah, the rebels, but the rebels call themselves, like, the Republic or something like that, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think. Maybe. I'm not versed in Star Wars lore. She'd been alone for 5.5 months now. Alone, yet surrounded by thousands. She couldn't remember the last time she'd seen the sky or the grasslands of Elway undulating in the cool breeze.
Like, I think undulating is probably a fine word to use for grass moving in the wind, except I was thinking of the grassland. So, like, the land's out here, like, undulated.
Rolling hills, baby.
The rolling hills,
Rolling
literally.
hills. She would see them both again, though, the sky and the grasslands. She knew she would, because she'd stayed awake on nights she was supposed to have been sleeping, listening through the cracks in the floorboards as her father and his fellow rebels talked of ways to bring down Otterland and of Princess Nehemia, who was in the capital at that very moment, working for their freedom. If she could just hold on, if she could just keep drawing breath, she might make it until Nehemia accomplished her goal.
Okay, so, like, why are they only showing this to us after Nehemia's gone? You know, it's
unless it's supposed to be, like, the futility of her being, like, I can hang on till Nehemia. I can hang on until Nehemia frees me or whatever. And then
she's dying in this chapter, why didn't you have her earlier?
Yeah.
Because, like, we could have known about that. We could have been seeing this character doing stuff and seeing her, like, thinking about, you know, I have to survive until Nehemia gets us out.
Mm-hmm.
And then we can have Nehemia die. It's just...
And then our brains can make the connection.
Be a chance to see a bit more of, like, you know, what Nehemia's engaged in.
Yeah. At least the narrative is interested in what Nehemia is doing.
Yeah.
Even though Selena can't be bothered.
Literally.
She would make it, and then bury her dead. Let's see. Until Nehemia accomplished her goal, she would make it, and then bury her dead. And when the mourning months were over, she would find the nearest rebel group and join them.
Why wait?
Literally. With every Ardalanian life she took, she would say the names of her dead again, so that they would hear her in the afterlife and know they were not forgotten.
Again and again. And again and again and again and again.
She swung her pickaxe into the unforgiving stone wall, her breath ragged in her parched throat. The overseer lounged against the nearby wall.
Oh, here's a question. If a pickaxe is used to get through a stone wall, which one's more unforgiving, the stone wall or the pickaxe?
Did it say anything about the unforgiving stone? Oh, it did say something about the unforgiving stone wall.
I mean, I think it's okay to describe it as the unforgiving stone wall, but still, we're clearly doing damage.
Slowly.
I mean, your arms are going numb, but...
The overseer lounged against a nearby wall, sloshing water in his canteen, waiting for the moment when one of them would collapse just so he could unfurl that whip of his.
Okay, so, like, it seems like every person we have seen, every overseer we have seen in the mines so far is just, like, absolutely terrible person. And you know what? Fine. You could have a lot of terrible people there. They could gravitate towards that work, but, like... Could we see some variety?
No.
No.
Bad is bad.
You're right.
There's no depth to it. This is a slave overseer. They can't have any other aspects to the person except being
a terrible person.
Being hungry to inflict pain.
Nice.
Where's the overseer who's like, I really need to get my numbers up?
Yeah. Where's the overseer who's like, look, y'all aren't doing enough. If I don't get the numbers up, I'm out.
I need to be overseer of the month, okay? I need my promotion. Don't you want me to get that promotion? Yes, overseer.
Don't you want me to get that promotion and leave you alone?
That whip of his. She kept her head down, kept walking, kept breathing. She would make it. She didn't know how much time passed, but she felt the ripple go through the mines like a shuttle in the earth. A ripple of stillness, followed by wails. She felt it coming.
Oh, wells. Like crying. Mm-hmm. For a moment, my head was like wells in the air, swimming.
Yeah, I love a good sky well.
Yeah.
She felt it coming, swelling up toward her, closer and closer with each turned head and murmured words. And then she heard it, M-Dash. The words that changed everything.
Nehemia is dead.
Princess Nehemia is dead. Assassinated by Otterland. The words were past her before she had time to swallow them. There was a scrape of leather against rock. The overseer would tolerate the pause for only a few seconds longer before he started swinging. Nehemia is dead. She stared down at the pickaxe in her hands. She turned.
See, I don't care about this at all, because brand new character, not really all that investment in them. You're just like, dang, yeah, this is exactly what you were going to use this character to show us. Nice.
Would have been nice if she was sprinkled in 1 or 2 times before, maybe.
Yeah.
She stared at the pickaxe in her hands. She turned slowly to look at the face of her overseer, the face of Otterland. He crooked his wrist. Pronged whip ready. Oh,
what,
can't just be a whip. Turn? Now it has to be a pronged whip. Which is like the thing, if they all turned together, there's no way that Calcutta could survive if like every slave rose up at once.
Yeah.
But that's the thing, it's hard to organize that kind of thing. And I'm sure, well, I don't think it would ever be written this way, but I'm sure that it's designed in a way that would make it, I don't know, put the point is, I'm sure it would be hard, but they could do it. And they're already in misery now, so...
Yeah.
What's the point of a little more misery to try to escape?
Just all go slaughter yourselves against the walls.
Yeah. She felt her tears before she realized they were falling, sliding through 6 months' worth of filth.
Is this person written any different than Selena is written in how she responds to things?
Nope. Enough. The words screamed through her so loudly she began to shake. Silently, she began to recite the names of her dead. And as the overseer raised his whip, she added her name to the end of that list. and swung her axe into his gut.
See, the implication is that she's going to die here because, she's added her name to the list.
Yeah.
She's going to die. That would have so much more meaning for me if this wasn't the first chapter she was in and she was introduced to show the response of Nehemia being killed after she was killed. If she was introduced beforehand, I could have got some investment.
Yeah.
I'm not saying I would have, but I could have.
There would have been opportunity for it instead of 2 pages.
Yeah.
Oh, that's the end of the chapter, by the way.
Another shorty. Could Maas just not think of anything else for her to do in prison? It would have required world building, actually, so yeah, no.
That would have required actual work. No, I'm sure this book took work. But I just feel like it could have been nice. Just a few short chapters with, like, this new character so we can see. Because they're talking about how bad Calcula is.
Yeah.
It would be great if we could actually see how bad it is from someone who's there.
Yeah, and we don't even know this person's name.
And I think it could have worked if we never knew their name.
It's true.
Potentially. But we would have gotten to know them through other means if they had a little more time.
Yeah. This person doesn't even have a name. There's like nothing to connect to them in that short of a time.
Aside from the fact that they acted just like Selena, they could have lived a year like Selena. Selena isn't that special.
Yeah. Anyways, that's my takeaways.
Yeah. Don't think Maas is great at plotting or building tension or making me invested in characters. I'm sure many people think she is, though. So, I mean, obviously they do, with how many people like her books.
That doesn't mean they think she's good at those things. It could mean that they don't think about those things.
Oh, that's true. Anyway, well, there's the chapter. TTFN.